So what's up YouTube, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video about the Tata Hexa, the ownership review and also pros and cons. I want to hear it from the owner, which is Abhishek. He would be talking about the pros and cons as well as the ownership review after 1 lakh kilometers. Hey Abhishek.
Hey.
Hello. So how was your ownership experience after owning this vehicle and driven it mostly like close to 1 lakh kilometers or above that?
Yeah, 1 lakh. Now I think it's about 1,10,000 kilometers.
1,10,000. Wow. So you can start off with your ownership experience, then pros and then cons.
See, this vehicle is a 2018 manufactured vehicle, but the registration and the sale happened in 2019.
2019.
Right, and then this comes with the 19-inch alloys. I think after this, at the 2019 model, they changed it to a 17-inch alloy.
17
This is the last version. And 2018 model actually worked out a lot of small issues that came in the 2017 model. So I am part of the Tata Hexa group members, and a lot of 2017 models had issues or have issues like EGR, and there's a couple of issues. I think they work on these niggles. So 2018, in my opinion, is probably the right year for
the Hexa.
Looking at a Hexa. And this is a manual version. This is not an automatic.
Yeah. So this is, I think, the last 19 or 18 model. 18 model. So that's where the ad shows that this pulls a Boeing or an aeroplane, right? That's the latest version.
That I think, yeah, this is the vehicle. It is quite capable. So I've been using it mostly for highway, for city, and a lot of mixed usage, right? So it's clocked about 1,10,000 kilometers. No major issues till date. So I'll tell you the type of issues that I've had is typical, right? So
first, let's start with the pros.
Okay, sure. So the pros, I think it's the looks.
Looks, yeah.
I think it's very understated. So
Understated,
it's not too, I like the look. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So it's more like an SUV rather than an MUV.
Yeah, correct. It looks more of, it's got that butch look, right? If you look at this, the front DRLs,
the stance.
they come in, that's pretty good. They have a good grill here.
Yeah.
And then the overall look. And one thing that I got added while I'm talking about the pros is I added this luggage rack.
Luggage rack.
So this helps a lot, and then I put most of my luggage, and then you can carry close to 6 people comfortably, if not 7 if you have some kids who can go in the back. So that's one thing. One is the looks. The second, I would say, is the drivability on the highways, right? So it give it any kind of potholes, road bumps, anything. It basically takes it with ease. I've not had issues. So people who've been on higher end luxury cars, they have sat in this car and told that, hey, the drive and the ride quality is awesome. So you don't even feel that it is a suspension. All of that is pretty good.
The riding modes make a difference?
Yeah. So now if you look at our surroundings, we are in Kerala, and so whenever I take a tougher terrain or there's rocky terrain, there's a mode which is a rough road mode. So what it does is it gives you some additional torque. I do not know how they work out those things, but I do feel the difference. And then there's an eco mode or a comfort mode for economy driving if you're looking for fuel efficiency. So the second, as I said, is basically the ride quality.
Ride quality.
The third, and in India this is very important and it's practical also, is the fuel efficiency. Right, so many people don't believe when I say that, but I have on the odometer, you'd see that it's clocked up to 20 kilometers per liter.
Wow.
So I've taken multiple, pictures when I did that. But then tankful to tankful, it's when I measure it, it's about 18.5 on highways. 18.5. And on city, if you talk about back-to-back bumper to bumper traffic, it's 12.
With full AC.
Full AC. I don't drive the car without an AC.
Yeah.
So this is all with full AC. Bumper to bumper is about 12 is what I think. And then mixed conditions is about 15, 16. So mostly if I do highways, I easily keep clocking around 17, 18.
And with what speeds?
So 17, 18 is a speed of about 90, 100, 110.
And anything beyond that?
Anything beyond that, the fuel efficiency drops to 13, right? So that's what it is. But if you drive, for me to get the 20 or the 18 or 19, I have to drive this in 80, 85.
80,
right? Light on the pedal. I think for a 7-seater, it's a really good fuel efficiency that we get.
And the maximum that you can, reach the speed is?
So one of my friends did about 160. I don't recommend doing high speed, so I am mostly at about 120.
But it's capable to.
It is capable.
Capable to easily.
It is capable. So talking about capability. One thing that I wish it could have been better has been the brakes, right? Specifically, the handbrake doesn't seem to work at all.
Though it has disc, all 4 discs.
Yeah, it's all 4 discs, but the handbrakes don't work at all. So I have to put it on the gear and then leave it if it's a downhill.
So that is only specific to your car, or
No. I've heard it in many Hexas that, and then people who watch this video can probably, if they have Hexas, they can say if they've got that issue.
So we'll come on the negatives that little later. So what is the other positive that you feel, or if there's anything?
So the seats, right?
The
Hexa has the variant that I have has the captain seats in the mid row and front seats. Right? The really comfortable seats. I sat in many vehicles so far, but the comfort level that I have both for the passenger as well as for the driver, I think the seat quality is
good.
It's good. Yeah.
How about the service space?
So I have not had many issues with service, right? Mine has been general servicing, right? Diesel filter change, a lot of these. So now I probably need to check for a spare. I put this thing is out now for a pillar that I couldn't spot. So this spare, if I ask the service guy, he said he can get it in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I do not know depending on which spare, but I have not had a lot of issues where I needed spare. So my vehicle goes for regular service, comes back. That's how it's been. Yeah.
When you talk about regular service, what's the interval?
So I get it 10,000 kilometers.
10,000. And what's the cost?
So I pay about 15 to 20 thousand every time that I give it for servicing. That includes your diesel filter changes. That includes your engine oil change and whatnot.
So you got your tires changed, and for what kilometers, and what's the cost?
Yeah. The first tire change happened at about 50,000 kilometers.
50,000.
Right. That's the first.
That's where they initially.
That's the first tire change I got, and the second tire change is very recent. So now I have a new pair of rubber here. You look at the wheels. This is basically right before I started coming on my way to Kerala. I got these back MRF stock Wanderer tires. So the only so that's I'll come share those in the
So these are what? These are 19 inches?
These are 19-inch tires, and then 4 tires and wheel balancing together cost me about 55,000.
So 4, or you changed all the 5?
No. The 5, I think
the stepney.
The spare wheel is 16-inch.
16 inch.
Yeah, it's not an alloy.
That's okay. So and how much it cost?
This costed about 55,000, including the wheel balancing and
wheel alignment. 55,000.
55,000 for 4 tires.
Because of its 19-inch size.
Yeah. You don't have many 19-inches tires here, so it's like one not common. Many of the people who have owned the Hexa have downgraded to either a 16-inch or a 17-inch, and that also happens. So.
Also happens, yeah. Though it adds to the butch character. Right. The 19-inch wheels, it's a pro and a con.
Right. So pro is basically how it handles the potholes, how it looks and everything else. The cons is obviously the cost, and also a lot of complaints that I've heard is where the sidewall kind of tears up.
Keeps damaging.
Yeah. So I had that incident on a highway where my tire tore up. Right. So that was one time, and then I changed it. But that's, I think, an upkeep for any vehicle. So that's what it is.
So any other thing that you want to add as positive? How about the electronics?
So basically, I don't like electronics. I like a car that drives well, can take me to places, and is comfortable. So it does all of that. So I don't think electronics-wise, I wouldn't say I miss anything as such. Right? So it's got a Bluetooth connection. It does basically play good music because it's got that JBL music system, right, and the speakers. So it plays some good music. The AC is on point. AC is
all 3 rows.
Yeah.
All three rows.
So basically, AC is on top, and the vents are there in the middle row and then the bottom row. So that's good. And then
space is good. How about the rear boot space?
The rear space, once you have the last seat, it's still
manageable.
Small suitcases it can still pack. It's not a lot, but it can pack.
How about the lights? Have you done any changes to that?
So maybe this is coming over to the con section, right? The lights are a disappointment in this vehicle.
And it has 4 sets of lights.
Yeah. So
still you find it to be a disappointment?
Lights, it is a major disappointment, specifically the stock lights that come with this vehicle. Most of them who have been using Hexa probably would have already upgraded to another quality. So I've upgraded these from a person that we all have in the group, and I'm very satisfied with the type of light that it is.
So you changed it to all LEDs?
Yeah.
And how much it cost?
That I think costed about 15K, if I'm not wrong.
15K,
I don't quite recollect it now.
So what was the major investment after you bought the vehicle?
I don't think investment as such. I mean, I've changed the lights.
Lights.
You call that an upgrade. I put the roof rack.
Roof rack.
So that's about 15K.
15K.
Yeah. So then
And then the tires.
Tires, I got it changed. Yeah, that's exactly it. I did not put
Anything else.
I kept it stock. No changes whatsoever.
So that's where mostly the positives.
Right.
Right. Good. So now let's talk about what are the cons. Okay, talking about the cons, what do you feel are the cons?
Yeah, the cons, I told some of this earlier. I think the stock lights have to be replaced. So
Has to be
again,
replaced.
that's one of the cons that I could find. We also discussed about, I think, the braking capability. So again, if you're going at about 120, 130, you have no problems. But the moment you cross 140, I'm not as confident with the braking capability. Again, it's a heavy vehicle. Right? I don't know if
It's a 2-ton.
2.2 ton. So it's a heavy vehicle, so the brakes could have been better. Specifically, the handbrake
scenarios.
it doesn't work at all.
It doesn't work. Yeah. So you need to leave it in a gear.
Yeah, I typically leave it in gear. I know which is not recommended, but that's what it is.
And they're not able to fix it.
No, I've tried taking it to multiple Tata authorized service showrooms, and
they're not able to fix it.
They do something, and then sometimes
it comes back. But the brakes are effective. Like, did you change the brake pads or something like that?
No.
Does it make a difference?
I've not tried. Neither have I heard people in the forum that I'm part of. People have upgraded so it's just the stock brake pads and the discs that are good enough.
Okay.
I spoke about the lights. I spoke about the tires. I told you, right? There are issues with the 19-inch availability. So that's the
one
other
thing.
portion.
So it's a pro and a con.
Yeah, it's a pro and a con in that sense.
It adds to the mileage, but also longevity. Probably it might not.
But see, I'm getting, as I said, I get 18.5 easily on
That's
this.
great.
For a 7-seater, that's pretty good fuel efficiency. But yeah, I can't think of any other.
How did you feel that the body is holding up, since now it's clocked like 1.2 lakh kilometers? Like, do you feel any rusting issues, anything?
No, not that I've seen, neither have I experienced. Even now, if you look at it, I know this is a lot of dust. We bought the vehicle from Hyderabad to Kerala, so we went even clean it up for this shoot. But the good condition,
paint quality, everything, really good.
No challenges. Again, Tata, I think, made a very good vehicle. They did not upgrade it with the BS4, but and this is a very common thing within the groups that are people who've driven the Hexa, is why doesn't Tata bring this back? Lovely if we bring it back, but now I think they have different
other models
for the same spaces. They have the Safari for the same space, but I somehow would choose this any day over a Safari, which is now.
That's good. So finally, I think this is one of the common questions which I keep getting. Would you recommend this as a second-hand purchase, and what you have to look for if anybody is planning to buy a second-hand vehicle? In fact, what you have looked while picking up this Hexa?
No, I think for somebody who's getting a used vehicle, some of the things are very common that will apply to any used vehicle. Try to see if you can meet the owner, because that will tell you about how the person is, what type of driving style they apply. Is that a family-owned car? Is this a person who's kind of keeps moving the car between multiple people? So that, I think, is a common thing for any other. But for Hexa specifically, I would going to look at the service history. They have a very clean service history, as long as they've done their services on time. There's some common issues, as I said, the EGR change has to happen. Many vehicles have reported that after 1 lakh kilometers, so you have to check whether the EGR was replaced or not. If it's replaced, that's still fine. There's no problem whatsoever. The second thing that I would say is I think like any other vehicle, whatever you will check, the price point is low because one, it's a discontinued model. Two, it's not as widely known in the common mass market.
Correct.
There's people have the appeal. There's I would say there's type of a cult following for this car also, given its size.
Correct.
And people who have owned it are certainly recommending it. Yeah, there are some people in the group who are not as happy with the process because they happen to have an issue where their spare did not come on time, a specific service center issue, and things like that. But the number of people who are happy with the purchase far more outweighs the number of people.
The cons.
So that, I think, is.
Do you recommend the automatic version of this?
Yeah, so automatic is really good, but I recommend manual. And people who've my neighbor has both, right? He's got 2 Hexas, so it's awesome because we have 3 Hexas parked in the same line. But he has both, and he kind of recommends the manual as well. Auto, after a certain point of time, has the auto gearbox issues. Can be fixed, but it costs you a bomb. So that's the other part.
That's
Otherwise, it's all good. I'm a happy
Customer.
Hexa customer, and hopefully I'll take this. So by the way, there's a person in our group that's done about 3.5 lakh kilometers
Wow.
on this vehicle,
Wow.
and he shared a photo
clip of the readings.
fuel efficiency that he's getting about 18.
Wow.
So that talks about the longevity of this car.
So there are no issues with the space.
No, not that I have experienced. Again, I did not have a lot of spare
Space
requirements.
changes, yeah.
Like whatever you need, generally you'll get it.
You'll
My only sense is wherever I've gone, they said that they can source the material.
Mm.
So if there's a big part that goes off, I think it'll take about a couple of weeks. That's something that I can live with. But
Yes.
if you are the person cannot live with your car being in the garage occasionally for 1-2 weeks, then you may have a problem.
Okay. Super. So final question: how much do you think that the second-hand Hexa now it would cost?
In the market, I've seen 2017 variant, depending on if it's the XC model, which is the beginning model, which doesn't have these 19-inch and all that. I've seen it as low as 7 lakhs in certain markets. Right? Delhi market is 6.5, 7 lakhs. Let's assume a well-maintained XTA, which is 2018-19 model. I've seen it going for about 13.5 to 14 lakhs.
So that's the XCA means
XTA.
automatic.
So it's the top line automatic.
Automatic. Okay.
Yeah, and a good 2018. If you think this, if I put it up in the market for sale, I would expect at least 10 lakhs.
10 lakhs. Yeah. So which model you recommend? Like, is it the XCA, XCE, or XT?
XT. There's no XC. It's XT.
XT.
Right. There's XE. Then what I'm aware of, there's XM. Then there's XMA plus. Right. And then there's XT. And then there's XTA.
Okay.
Again, I call it bias, but I would prefer XT over XTA because I don't prefer automatic. That's a personal preference.
Yeah.
And then the XM is good, but I somehow like the leather seats. The XTA comes with this leather seats, which I'd pay a price for. So there's no problem with that. So that's the model.
That's the thing. Yeah. And then the one that you recommend is also the steel rims, not the alloys.
The steel rims, you see, again, if you have an option, you could always have a steel rim. Alloys it has its pros and cons. Okay. Yeah, that's a personal preference.
Super. Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks for sharing your ownership review. And yeah, talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.